am writing like Ernest Hemingway, which is to say I'm following Ernest Hemingway's proclaimed writing routine. I feel the need to like make a disclaimer on all of these videos that I obviously don't know what an author's actual writing routine is. I only know what they've made public. So for this particular writing vlog, I am basing my writing routine for this 4-day weekend on information, firsthand documentation that Ernest Hemingway put out into the world about his own writing routine and his own tips for writing consistently and like prolifically. And I've just actually finished my first writing session for this weekend because Ernest Hemingway was a morning writer. He liked to get up early, get up with the sun, and just immediately hit the ground running, get into his writing, write all morning, and then spend all afternoon doing other things, waiting until it was time to write again, basically. I'm a bit of a morning person, but I'm really more of an afternoon writer. I do like to get up early and kind of hit the ground running, but what I mean by that is I want to have my breakfast. I want to take care of things around my flat. I want to take care of my administrative tasks, get all of the clutter out of the way first thing in the morning, so then I can devote my afternoon to my writing. So writing this morning was a bit of a slow start. I was a bit groggy, but I've managed to write probably about 1,000 words, which I don't think is too bad. I don't think that's too shabby. I am working on my second draft at the moment, but the 1,000 words that I wrote today is actually an entirely new piece to this second draft. It pulls a little bit from scenes that I wrote for my first draft, but for the most part, the majority of it is brand new stuff. So I think that's pretty good for day one. I don't know how well this is gonna go the whole rest of the weekend because again, my circadian rhythm is like not quite aligned to the sunrise right now. But I'm hopeful that if I'm able to go to bed just a little bit earlier for the next few days, I'll be able to stick with this routine and hopefully actually pull my schedule up a little bit so that I'm getting up earlier more consistently going forward beyond this experiment. This check-in is just me saying, hello, welcome back to my channel. I probably should have said that to start with, but I'm writing like Ernest Hemingway this weekend and I'm really excited to be trying a new schedule. We'll put it that way. I do think I am gonna have to reframe my mental state a little bit for this experiment. That's gonna be a challenge for me because again, I like to declutter first thing in the morning. Sometimes that means physically, sometimes that means mentally. I just wanna organize things and then I wanna get to the fun stuff, but I'm getting to the fun stuff first thing and that's a little weird for me. That's new. Anyway, I don't wanna be too rambly, so I'm going to sign off for now, but I'll check in again later on in the weekend and let you know how it goes. I decided to try something new for this video and take notes on my progress and experience to voice over my B-roll later because I cannot be trusted to check in when I'm vlogging, especially when I'm also trying to spend time with people outside of the vlog, which I did end up doing over the course of this weekend, so very glad that I have these notes. Like I said, I'm working on a second draft right now, and a big part of that for this particular project has been restructuring. I've got some big scenes from my first draft that I'm chopping into vignettes to sprinkle throughout the novel, and I'm also adding in new scenes to make the story flow more naturally, flesh out the characters, and their relationships better as well. All that to say, I wrote about 1,300 words on day 2, but about 500 of that was repurposed from draft 1. And day 3, lucky me, I actually drafted an entirely new scene. Now
This scene was pre-outlined, so I knew where I was going, and I didn't actually manage to finish it, but I would say that 1,500 entirely new words for an entirely new plot beat isn't too shabby for a morning's worth of work. Guys, I really did not think that this whole hit the ground running, start writing first thing in the morning thing was gonna work out for me, but I just finished a writing session wherein I wrote almost 1,900 words, finished the chapter I was working on, and finished writing a brand new scene that I just started drafting 2 days ago. And in fairness, a lot of the progress that I've made this weekend has been in large part due to the fact that this is a second draft. I am pulling on pre-existing work. I know the changes that need to be made, and I have several scenes and chapters already pre-outlined that I can just now insert into this draft of this novel. But oh my god, you guys, this one's so much better than I could have possibly expected. Hemingway's whole philosophy on writing was that you should stop your writing session when you already kind of know what's going to happen next. You stop, you are empty, but also not empty, filling up with new ideas, with new words, with new writing to put down in your next writing session. That is where I have been throughout this entire process, and it's left me feeling really excited to come to my next writing session. Which is obviously something that you want to feel as a writer, as an artist in general. You want to feel excited to continue on with your art, but I don't know. I think I feel excited in a more singular, isolated kind of way. I'm excited to write this next piece, as opposed to the general, I'm excited to write something, anything. I'm excited to write what comes next in this story because I know that I have something good to put on the page, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but this draft is going so much better, way better than the first one. Not even just in terms of process and progress, but the actual writing is so much better this time. And I don't think this experience is going to change my approach to writing too much. I do still very much like to have my slow mornings. I like to read first thing in the morning, read in bed with a cup of tea, my breakfast, go to the gym a few times a week. These are all part of my standard go-to morning routine. Those are things that would preclude me from sitting down to write first thing in the morning every single day. I don't think this is going to become an everyday kind of event, but maybe writing is something that I can add to that list. I think I would need to block out a few days at a time though, in order to really get the most out of this type of routine and this type of morning schedule. But I found that walking away from a morning writing session with so much of your day just stretching out before you, it really gives your brain time. It gives you an opportunity to chew on what's coming next and the ideas and the progress that you want to make, mold it, shape it so that you know what you're looking at and you're prepared to come back to your next session. It's almost like having a cool down walk after a really intense workout where you're giving your body and your adrenaline levels time to readjust and come back to normal. It's kind of like having a cool down, whereas opposed to writing later in the day, you maybe need a bit more of a warm up to get yourself into that place where you're then able to sit and write. Writing first thing in the morning doesn't necessarily feel logically like it should be something that you should be able to just get up and dive into, but I don't know, I have found it to be a very good routine for me this weekend, and so I'm thinking I'd like to maybe incorporate more of this type of routine into my day-to-day. Again, not every day, but maybe 3 days a week, I'll get up early and start writing. It would have to be consecutive though, which again is also fine because I'm not going to the gym 3 consecutive days in a row. I'm doing that every second or third day. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit rambly now, but basically this weekend went really well. I made some really good progress on my second draft and I'm very, very excited to carry on. Let me know down in the comments if there are any other authors that you'd like to see me emulate in this format, in this type of vlog. I do have several lined up that I am just kind of itching to get to, but let me know if you want me to add anyone to that list. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to see when I post new videos. I love you guys so much, and until next time, peace out, Brussels sprouts.